Good people, welcome back. It is another Tuesday night, the Sick Podcast Anvil Show. We are live. We are 6 days into camp. Week 2 officially started yesterday. We had our first media pass visit on Saturday. Got some great clips, got some great interview material. So much going on with camp. Anthony's looking great. Injuries occurring today, not so great. Signing our left tackle for the future, really great. So much to talk about in so little time. So, Sammy, go ahead and start me up.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Anvil Show.
Intercepted! Marlon Jackson! Marlon's got it! We're going to the Super Bowl! We're going to the Super Bowl! Marlon Jackson with the interception! He picked off Tom Brady!
The sickest Indianapolis Colts podcast. It's gonna be sick.
There's only about a week left before I'm back home and we'll have our soundboard. But Sammy, if you could, I don't know if you have the ability. Can you cue? Yeah, you go.
we had the anvil the whole time.
There you go. All right. The manufactured anvil, we'll take it. It works. Welcome back, good people. How y'all feeling today? I'm excited to be a Colts fan. How about you two?
Very much so.
Loving it. Glad we are back.
Man.
Training camp. Training camp is what we've been dying for this whole entire offseason.
Listen, I'm going to start this show with a disclaimer. If you're not an Anthony Richardson fan, then ask yourself, are you truly a Colts fan? Because I can't really understand what it is that you're asking for.
Ask yourself if you even like football.
Because as I'm filtering through all the social media, not just our page, but Twitter Spaces and everywhere else, when he's doing great and being consistent, he still sucks to a lot of y'all. It makes no sense to me. It's almost as if anybody that started slow in their career, we forgot about those and we've talked about them ad nauseum, so I won't bring them up. But Josh Allen, but now you want to crown him the greatest, but Anthony doesn't get that same. He doesn't get that same, ability to, resurrect himself from, the pits of football hell, if you will. And it seems like he's trying to do that slowly, and guys are not giving him a shot. So now I really don't understand what it is. So I'll just glide on into it.
Doom and gloomers. That's it.
Yeah,
That's all they are. They have
doom and
no
gloom.
life. They have no.
Jesus Christ, Pat.
It's the God's honest truth. And I'm looking at some.
Maybe they have a life though. Damn.
No, they don't. They have no happiness in that life. They might be alive, but they're dead soul. Their souls are friggin' dead.
Oh God. Okay. All right, Patrick.
I just want to go out there and mention the fact that like we know that there's doom and gloomers, but I've been referred to as AR's number one hater.
You have been?
You?
Yeah, that's what I said. Like I'm just like, hey, like they were just like, hey, and then they were able to kind of specify a little bit today, and they said, well, you haven't picked what side of the fence that you're on. I'm just like, what do you mean? Like,
yeah,
like
you're clearly not on the Daniel Jones side of the fence. I don't know what. Who are you talking to? Let me talk to the same people.
I don't know. Listen, I just wanted to know if y'all saw something that I didn't, because I just wanted to know. It's just like, did y'all does anybody feel the same way that this one person does? Because if so, it's just like I'd love to clarify. But I mean, either way.
What's up, Teresa? Yeah, I don't really know, man. What's up, Kevin?
The 2 days that I've been able to get out of camp, I've seen great progress by Anthony. This whole off season, actually, since we drafted him, Clyde, we've talked about what our expectations were, and we wanted to see growth. We want to see growth. Now, boom, take over the league.
Yeah,
we are at that second stage of growth cycle with this young man, and if you can't see it, your souls are dead. I'm just telling you right now.
Hold on. That's an excellent segue. Sammy, please cue up the first clip when I asked Coach Shane about how Anthony has grown.
So it's been good though.
Coach, what's the biggest improvement you've seen in Anthony so far after this first week?
I think being year 3 in the system, just the operation at the line of scrimmage is good. When you're going into year 3, you should be pretty good at the line of scrimmage, operating, calling plays in and out of the huddle. He's been really well doing that.
How much of this is about growth?
Okay, so why is that important? I'm going to tell you why that's important. Last year, we heard a whole bunch of smoke from the likes of Pat McAfee and others that say, hey, this guy doesn't look prepared. There's rumors that when he's in the huddle, he's looking lost. He's clearly tired. He's overweight, blah, blah, blah. What we've seen every day of camp so far is his pre-practice routine, if you will, where he's going through mental reps. He has his call sheet. He's, going through the handoffs, the motions, the whole thing. So understanding what Coach Shane is saying there, that his biggest growth is at the line of scrimmage. He knows exactly what's supposed to be happening now. The office isn't, in my opinion, like foreign to him. He understands all the calls, all the other things. So I feel like, when you're talking about how do you build your confidence back, it's first off, do you know the material, right? It's like studying for a test. Like you can say, hey, look, I've been taking this class for, 6 weeks and I really just kind of been in the class and now you got to take the test and you fail it. Well, I'm not saying he was doing that like the rumors might have said last year, but I'm also saying he definitely maybe wasn't as comfortable, but it seems like that part of it is easy for him now. It's secondary, it's memory, if you will. He's on it. So yeah, that's a great thing. That's my thoughts on that comment, but that comment got crushed. But
yeah, and Clyde, and one more thing, because like I said, that was a comment from Saturday, right? Mm-hmm. So the thing is, there have been practices in between Saturday and of course today's practice. And so today, our offensive coordinator, Coach JBC, because I'm not saying that. And so they asked him about AR, and his quotes directly, of course they got it from Dominic Miranda from WTHR. It says, he said, you can tell Anthony's offseason work is paying off. They said his comfortability within the offense has improved as well as his accuracy. And he said Anthony is doing a nice job right now. So the thing is, last year, when you had those comments around this time, it was more so, he's trying to get down those things. He's making sure that he's doing this. But I don't think that they've ever talked as finite as they have with him now, where they say, you can tell Anthony's offseason work is paying off.
Facts.
Because we also had another quote from James Boyd where they said, AR said he didn't work with Chris Hess this offseason.
Which we thought he was going to do, which was which is Josh Allen's guy, right?
Yeah, and I don't think that's to say that he didn't, but he just didn't work with him specifically. So now it's just like your mechanics look to have improved. So was this just kind of like a natural progression, or were you really just like throwing as rigorously as you would have, almost to kind of make up for that lost time and just kind of get that stuff down? So that's the only thing. And I know Pat was going to say something.
I want to go teacher here for a minute for everybody. If you're out there on social media, it doesn't matter what you are. If you're doing something like what we do, did you see what this man just did? He took somebody's work and gave them credit for it before he spoke on it.
Oh,
and I bring this up only because when me and Clyde was out at camp, and you've seen that clip, if you listen to it,
is that Chris digging?
Chris.
Stop digging.
Listen.
We'll call him Mr. Dean.
I'm popular, baby. Okay, listen. Y'all know. Okay,
evidently you're AR's number one hater. So yeah.
Right.
Anyway, I don't know how I got that moniker. Like, it's just like, what did I do? What more do you want from me? Like, it's just like I don't know what else I can say. Like, it's absolutely insane. It's insane.
It is. Right. Continue, Pat.
If that first clip that we showed you, you listen to it, you can hear that's Clyde's voice asking the question. That's Clyde's video recording that question. And there was about 6 news agencies that took your stuff and acted like it was their question. They wrote on it.
That's impressive.
Yeah. Which, it's, for me, it's weird. Just don't plagiarize people. Give credit where credit's due. And we do it all the time. If I pick up something from Jake Arthur, I tell him. If I pick up something from Zach Hicks, I give him credit. if I pick up something from you guys, I say, yeah, Clyde tweeted this and that. I was like, oh damn, that really hit home.
Or just do the safe thing. Just repost, because then when you repost, you see who shit it is.
There
Just
you go.
repost.
It's just common courtesy, you guys. So if you're out there on social media, you like the videos that you're seeing, that's great. Share them, but give the credit. I'm not saying us work as hard as, say James Boyd and Jake and Chappie, because they're at training camp every day. Doesn't matter, rain, sleet, snow, shine, 102 degrees. They work their tails off getting you the footage that they get. Right. They deserve the credit. Just a little tantrum I wanted to throw out there real quick.
I appreciate you having my back. I did feel like a superstar because I was like, wait a minute. Like, that's my question. Oh, wait, there's it again. Oh, wow. Somebody wrote an article. There's another one. I was like,
it was bonanza.
That's great. Anyway, we're humble here on this podcast. So next time I'll say, blah, 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 blah. Well, first I'll start with, this is Clyde from the Sick Podcast Amble Show, and go. And then they will have to then say.
I guess we're gonna have to,
but I didn't want to be the weirdo, right? Like you'd be like, oh, here's the FNG here. He's gonna come in and say where he's from. You know what I'm saying? So, but I don't know. We'll see how that goes at our next media day. So we'll test that out, if you will. Right. JBC. Teresa, you are a dangerous woman. You know that, and I don't know why you live on the edge as much as you do. Tuesday nights and JBC don't go together when Teresa's watching. We will not say, see you next, know what, and JBC.
Yeah, anyway. And you know what, and you know what, it's going to be what it is. She wants me to say JBC and not JBC. I'm going to say it, JBC. Oh, you want me to go ahead and say the full name? Absolutely not. Get somebody else to do it. I'm not going to.
Now, so, while we're still on,
I'll say it. I ain't afraid.
Okay, you will not say it. While we're still on Anthony, Sammy, go ahead and cue up Anthony's interview from today, I believe. Or not. Or maybe. Or Chris will make faces. Or we'll all make faces.
So basically,
Sammy 1, 2, 3.
So yes, Sammy. Oh, but either way, the clip while he cues it up, because I'm pretty sure he's getting it queued up. But basically, the clip was I'm gonna say from AR, was from today, just kind of speaking to where they're asking him just kind of about like the competition and just as, and he said a couple things. Now, mind you, I have no problem talking openly about my faith. I'm a Christian. I believe in God. God is my Lord and Savior, and everything that goes along with that. And he spoke on that. And, I think there was a certain portion of the clip that was quoted. And I do feel like there's a lot of times where portions of certain things that he said are meant to be put out there a certain way. Because Anthony Richardson, even though like people, he's not a QB that's necessarily arrived, but he's great for the clicks, right? So the thing is I feel like once again, he was put in a position where you had something that he said amongst, like, it's a whole minute and a half, and they took about 6 seconds of what he said and tried to say like that was what it was, to try to make him seem as though he doesn't care. And one of the things he spoke on was the fact that he was just like, they chose me, number 4 in the draft, so it's up for me to prove them right. That's one of the things that he said, like towards the end of that. But the one thing that they took was just like, hey, I'm used to adversity, and it's just like I don't get worried about that. I don't find things difficult, this, that, and the other. And I feel like the reputation that he's gained has been based on people making sure that they take what he says out of context, or take a small thing of what he says when he's talking about everything in totality. Like the very first thing that he said was, I first off, I want to, it's just like I believe in God. It's just like that's my Lord and Savior. And then he goes into some of the things that he's been through, and then he speaks to football. He speaks to that version of things. And to me, I get tired of the clickbaity things, and I feel like as a fan base, we will take what's put out there and we'll just run with it ad nauseum, as opposed to doing our own research and making sure that you don't just take the 10 seconds of what was said, you take the whole minute and a half and you do the research yourself. Like somebody the other day tried to do that with Kenny Moore. Kenny Moore sat down with James Boyd and I think Matt Taylor, and he tried to say, oh yeah, well he said he doesn't care about getting a ring, but if you sit down and you actually listen to the whole clip, they said, Kenny, like what more do you want out of your career? And the very first thing he said was an effing ring, and they laughed about it. And then he went into that stuff, and to me, it's just like when you tell me that somebody doesn't care about that, but then I literally hear that with my own ears. It's like, how much of a disservice are you doing when you're misquoting somebody and putting that out there to the fan base, as opposed to telling them, hey, you should go listen to this. It's at this time, because that's exactly what I said. I said, listen to 3.5 minutes in, and that's when you'll understand exactly where Kenny is in regards to what he wants in his career.
How about this?
I feel like you had time. You had time that day.
How about this as a fan base? How about we back these guys up?
Well, the other
Let's
thing,
back them up. And when you see a reporter out there that is clipping and doing crap like that for clicks, let them know you're done.
well, here's the other thing too.
We ain't following that shit no more.
Well, I mean, look at national coverage versus like local coverage. If you've been checking things out on ESPN and all that, I think it was Al Breer or whatever his name is.
Albert Breer, yeah.
He basically blindly is saying, from what he's being told, like Daniel Jones is in the lead. And I'm like, he clearly ain't been out here.
Clearly.
Like, where are you getting that from?
He ain't even watching the videos on Twitter.
Exactly. And then I'm sitting there saying, like, okay, and then you have members of our fan base who run with that. And I'm like, hey, look, man, everybody that's a Colts fan does not have the luxury of living in the state. But if you do and you got time, drive your ass to camp. It's free. You got to pay like $5 to park, and bring your binos and take a look for yourself. Because I'm telling you right now, it's nothing like what's being reported. And it's almost as if like, and this, Pat, you are the minority on this show. Sorry, friend.
I've been used to it my whole life.
Well, we don't. Yeah, Omaha. We don't get to say that a lot, but I'll say this.
Well, when you're as pretty as me,
okay, I'll say this. You're 52 and me. But I will say this. I will say this.
That you now you still in my work.
I will say this. It seems as if national, and I won't even say it so broadly because I don't want to paint a broad brush, but I don't know what it is. But the QB narrative, when it's an African American, is much different than when it's not an African American. And so in this situation, right, this is not new because now there are a number of starters that are in the NFL that are a black or of another minority. What I'm getting at is I need them to have the same grace that they would have with, the other quarterback of the other side of the other color who's going to struggle and then, maybe make himself better over time, because he's not getting that same grace. It's almost as if like there's like this, not that they want him to fail, but because he started slow, like he's just going to be written off. That's kind of bogus to me. So we need to quit with that bullshit. Like just
absolutely
just cancel all that shit. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, yeah, it's got to bring up race, because honestly, that's where it's coming from. It's coming from no other place, but it makes no sense. Like if you look at Josh Allen played football for the first 2 years and then ask these same people those same questions in those 2 years, oh, there's potential there. But the potential on the field was he stinks until he didn't stink. So why are we not able to have that same open conversation? Like, okay, yeah, I'll give it to you. He stunk. 47% is terrible. I took the nickname away. I took AR away and called him Anthony. He's got to earn that back from me. But he's doing what he needs to get there. So until that ship actually sails off into the sunset, meaning it didn't work out, give the man a chance. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I think I'm going to say the talk about AR comes from the desperation of a fan base who needs to put the blame on somebody for not being as successful as we would hope that we would have been by now. And the thing is, it's like you have like different levels of fans. You have fans that just root for the team. Okay, cool. I'm just a Colts fan through and through. And yet some of them don't even know the roster. You know some guys, you know some of the marquee names. You know that there's a Jonathan Taylor, you know that there's DeForest Buckner. And outside of that, you may not know the whole team. But then you also have those people who know some of the roster, but they're not necessarily inner workings people when it comes down to the actual organization. And then as you keep on going through fandom, you have certain things to where for us, we understand that there's a front office. We understand that there's ownership. We also understand that there's the coaching staff. We also understand that you have the players on the field. And so the problem is that it's very, very easy to go directly to blaming things on the quarterback when the team isn't successful. Because you can look at last year and say, okay, AR was not successful. But we also had an unsuccessful defense that was allowing time of possession at a high enough rate where you literally almost are always playing to where you have to hurry up.
Because you mean in the last 3 years we could have actually made the playoffs by just being, like a mid-tier defense with the terrible quarterback play we had? Oh no, you don't mean that.
Can't talk about that.
You don't mean that.
Yeah, we got a scapegoat over here. We ain't got to talk about that defense and how horrible it was and how the opposing offense had double the time of ball possession than we did. Yeah, no, we don't have to talk about that. It had nothing to do with it, Chris. Nothing.
And the craziest part about everything that's been going on is the fact that we will literally, because mind you, and like I said, all of us, we are football through and through. We know that there's 3 phases of football. The problem is that when you go ahead and you put everything all on quarterback, that's what has you trying to put and I'm this is what has us trying to put Jalen Hurts in an elite quarterback conversation just because he won a Super Bowl on a team that had a 2,000-yard rusher, that had a defense that was able to sack Pat Mahomes multiple times while not even doing a single blitz, sending a 4-man rush frequently. Like we want to be so QB driven that there are certain QBs in this league that will 100% that they are the focal point of their team. But there also are QBs
Joe Burrow.
who you can say
Lamar.
they have a supporting team, they have a supporting cast around them that only requires them to play it safe and make sure that you are just taking the safe shots. You don't have to take risks at quarterback. And that's the whole issue that you have now. Now the thing is for AR,
isn't that a beautiful place to be as a quarterback?
Yeah. Absolutely.
God,
Absolutely.
If we could have gave Anthony a little bit of that.
I mean, well, Brock Purdy had that for 3 years. It felt like, the shit fell apart last year. But for 3 years, Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, the last man picked, was taking his team to the NFC Championship. What?
Yeah.
So you mean everybody missed that bad? Like that quarterback is that good and everybody missed that he was the last dude picked? Yeah, right. That team was pretty damn good before the injury train and people started wanting out of there and everything else because the wheels fell off last year. But the previous 2 years, come on, man, Brock damn Purdy.
And the last thing that I'm going to say, speaking to this point, is that with this offense, because I know we're going to have more clips to get to, but with this offense, if AR to an extent is allowed to go ahead and I'm just going to say play similarly. I'm going to say that's safe because we see that the short and intermediate has been developed. We see that he's been working on that. If you have something similar and the defense ends up being a top 15, you know what you have with Jonathan Taylor. If you can have a scheme that makes sure that you're not just trying to throw 100 yards on every single down, and then you just go and you utilize that short and intermediate, there's no reason why this team shouldn't easily be a double-digit win team with 10 or 11 wins, as long as you just run. But I digress.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking 9-7, 8-9 over the last couple years, right? And always a bottom defense, always. So you make that defense middle of the pack. And like you said, he's improved, and you have still a solid O-line, and you have still a great running back, and you can't get 3 wins out of that. because we were losing 1-score games. That's the other thing. There's a couple games where, all right, it got out of hand. But for the most part, we're losing 1-score games.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like, every season isn't the same season, but I'm saying, like, there is something to kind of, for all the things that we haven't been great at over these last 3 years, when you actually break it down and take a look at it, you're like, how is this team, like, we should be far worse than what we're actually discussing right now. If we're really being honest, because Gus Bradley made no adjustments. There was no change to anything. He just showed up every week with the same schematic, whatever. Go out there and do your best. And games like Green Bay week 2 last year, they had the ball for 46 minutes of a 60-minute game. And you're talking about quarterback play.
Pathetic.
What are you saying? So anyway, to your point, Chris, all things check. That definitely equates to at least 3 wins to make you, 11-win team. Easy, hands down.
Yeah.
So I'm with that. But let's, like you said, we got some other clips. We got some other things to talk about. Sammy, are we back? Do you want to run the AR? Do you want to run the Anthony clip, or do you want to go to the next clip? Or maybe Sammy's double dipping.
You do, you don't. You do, you don't. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, no, we can definitely go ahead and move forward.
Press. Okay, well let's talk about the stars.
He's saying he don't have it.
Okay, let's talk about the stars.
He's got the Giddens and Pierce ones.
Oh, okay.
Well,
yeah.
Then. Okay.
All right, that's fine. All right.
Well, I tell you what. We'll
do those at the end. We'll do those.
Let me do my little promo while everybody regroups. Sammy, can you bring up my my screenshot?
Mid show. All right.
Yeah, mid show. Let everybody get regrouped here. Anyways, as you guys know, one of the radio stations that carry us, Mix 105, they always do a doggone, I forgot what it's called. Chris, help me out.
A benefit?
No, they do a hashtag strong series, helping people, raise money for, fighting childhood diseases. Well, this young man came across, he loves football. He's a huge Green Bay Packer fan. Wish he could have been a Colts fan, but maybe the surgery will help him get him right.
Maybe.
But he's battling cancer, and they're doing a charity event for him to help raise money, for all the legal, or not the legal costs, the medical costs, things of that nature. So if you happen to be in the Lebanon area, it's going to be this Saturday, August 2nd, after practice at the Lebanon Youth Football Fields, and that is 1601 Longley Drive in Lebanon. They got it like an opening ceremony to kick the season off for the youth league. I think that starts at 9. But afterwards, you can see everything they're going to do: dunk tank, bounce house, yard games, silent auctions. It's gonna be a big production. So if you're out in that area, definitely swing by. If you're not and you just ain't got nothing else to do, it's not that far of a drive.
Absolutely, and it's for a great cause. Well, I mean, 6 hours.
That's not
love the local promos. Absolutely, love the local promos.
Yeah, but anyways, and if you can't do nothing else, definitely say a prayer for this young man.
Indeed. Now let's talk about the stars of camp, because from what I've seen, what I witnessed with my 2 eyes, and of course everybody's reading it on Twitter, everybody's reading it, on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. All right, Justin Wiley is the truth. Whether he's going to play, inside, maybe backing up Kenny, or he's going to get the leg up, maybe to be on the outside with, Mooney. I don't know, but it doesn't matter.
The 2 injuries we had today.
Well, I mean, true, but they're light injuries, I think. Like, well, one got carted off. They're hamstrings for the both. And why is it always Juju Brents? He didn't even dress out today, so apparently he got hurt yesterday. But yes, Jalen did get carted off, so let's pray that is not as bad as it looked. But they said a hamstring, so we'll see. But my point to that is, barring injury, he was going to play regardless. Right, like this wasn't going to be like a wait and see type guy, and we unveil him next year or something like that. Like, this dude was ready, and he's showing that he's ready, and he's competing at a high level. So he's a star. Cam Bynum, star. Every play that there's an opportunity to make a play, Cam makes a play. Star. And then when I'm just thinking about defense. And then of course on offense, I mean, look, man, Alec Pierce is different. Yeah, I'll be the first to tell you. When we drafted that kid 4 years ago, I was like, what? Like, and no, it wasn't because, we drafted the one white guy receiver, right? No, because there's been some solid white guy receivers. But I was like, that draft was loaded with wide receiver talent. And at the time, I just didn't see Alec Pierce as loaded talent. I thought he was decent. You know what I mean? He had some great moments at UC, him and Desmond Ridder, but it wasn't like everybody else that was in that draft. But dude, this is the definition of letting a player come into his own. The dude is different, bro. Like, yeah, we know he could take the top off and run deep stuff, but the footwork looks better. He's in and out of his breaks, which was one of his biggest issues coming out of college. He didn't come out the break that great. He's in and out the breaks. We talked to him. He put on a little muscle. It looks like more than what he said. He said he's put on like 2 or 3 pounds of muscle, but it looks more than that. Like, so he's more physical at the top of his route. Like, man, listen, he's going to be solid. He's going to be solid. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jordy Nelson was another one that was great for years. What's the kid? I think
Cooper Kupp?
Not Cooper Kupp, the other guy.
Ricky Pearsall.
No.
Ladd McConkey.
Older guy. He was with Carolina last year. What's his name?
Adam Thielen.
Yeah, came from Minnesota.
Yeah, he's got an Adam Thielen like feel to his game now. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he's much faster than Adam Thielen, but I'm just saying, like, to be a reliable guy, you know what I'm saying? I go back to what Reggie said. Reggie Wayne said the room right now, the temperature in the room is no one safe. And what that means is, I don't know if it's like talking about people getting cut, but as we look at who is the number one, Alec Pierce might be the number one. And Michael Pittman, not so much. And then things like that. Because, hey, look, everybody's competing, and I'm going for it. So those are my 3 stars right now. Wally, Cam Bynum, Alec Pierce. My 3 stars.
Since you're on the Pierce, can I tell a funny story from camp?
Sure.
We was at the media tent, and I forget who was in there you was interviewing, but I was on the outskirts of the tent, and Alec Pierce come walking up, and we were just standing there talking, and I looked down, and he had his cleats off, and I looked up, and I said, "Man, why does it always smell like damn feet out here?" And he just shook his head, goes, "Man, that ain't right."
Yeah, he had them shits off because he had a blister on his foot, and he was like, "Damn, please throw them shits away for the day." I'm with him. Yeah, man. But
my stars is you left Warren out. Warren has looked phenomenal. Absolutely looked phenomenal.
That's my pick. I mean,
that is your pick.
Look at that guy. Look at this guy.
Hey, I didn't say I didn't like him. I just wanted a linebacker.
Yeah, no one said neither one of you didn't say you didn't like him. Chris, his quote was tight ends a luxury, and your quote, sir, was, "Oh, well, we always got to look at the trenches or a linebacker or something like that."
I'm a defensive guy. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Next slide.
All right. And you're 100% right on Cam. Not only is he lighting up the field in training camp, man, he's bringing a lot of fun back to the fans. Me and Clyde had the chance to watch him after his interview in the media tent, going down, messing around with the fans, joking about the dances, and yeah, he's bringing a lot of excitement back to the fan base.
Facts.
Yeah. And the other one I'm going to give it to Clyde is AR.
Okay.
I have been patient, been wanting this growth, wanting to see this growth, and I'm seeing it now. And man, this kid's got me excited again. It really does.
You know what? I gotta, since we're giving out awards, I gotta actually give it to a non-player. I'm giving it to Lou Anarumo.
Oh.
And I want to say, Lou Anarumo, you see the difference in the intensity and in like the accountability, because he's out there telling guys, like, he's preaching, he's telling them, like, listen, you don't be late. Like, don't be late on these things. And there's a certain level of of awareness that has to go into it, because the problem that we have with Gus Bradley's defense is that you had to wait. Like you almost had to. And I think waiting kind of made that complacency, not being able to, I'm going to say, maybe play to the speed that you would generally be able to play up to depending on where it is. I think that made a big deal. Whereas now you see with Lou, he's just like, you better get there. Like you better make sure that you're getting there, because this defense is faster. This defense is going to be more explosive, and it's going to make sure that guys are getting to those spots. And so you see the difference now with the defense. And I mean, even today, I think there was a report. I can't remember who said it, so don't. My apologies. But on one of the plays, Grover Stewart took JT and he threw that man to the ground. And JT got up, jawed at him. Quentin Nelson got in Grover's face. But the thing is, that right there lets you know that we're not just looking to just go ahead and just like basically just slap you on the pads and just let that be that. Like now, and especially from somebody like Grove. Like Grove generally, he's a guy who's bigger, but he's going to be like, hey, you know what? That's fine. Just going to go ahead and get the guys. But when you go and you take JT, who is our money back, like he's our guy, and you take him and you throw him to nobody's safe. Nobody's safe out here. And to me, it's just like that's the increase in the intensity. That's a new attitude. That's going to be a new energy that you bring into the defense. And for me, just seeing that from Grove, now you know that that's not just being preached on a D line. That's being preached everywhere from the D line, linebackers, secondary, all the way back. And that right there is like, I think that just speaks volumes to the impact Lou's had in such a short time.
Yeah, no more going through the motions.
No,
you want it, you get it.
And what's honestly the truth, and we're gonna date ourselves here, but you can go back to when the Colts came to Indy in '84. I can't think of a dominant defense where it's like we were rough, we were nasty. Like we've had great defenses where we created sacks and fumbles and stuff like that, but those defenses were still like bottom tier. You know what I mean? Like when you look at the numbers, we were still like, I mean, the year that we won the Super Bowl before we got hot in the playoffs, 2 weeks before the playoffs started, or maybe 3 weeks, it was week 14, 3 weeks before, we got diced in half by the Jags when Fred Taylor and MJD went bananas. They ran for almost 400 yards or something. Like it was nuts. And everybody like, this team is going to go in the playoffs and make noise. And then we had the leading rusher coming in, which at the time was buddy out of Kansas City from Penn State. Is it Larry something? I can't remember. It's like
Larry Johnson.
Is it Larry Johnson? Was that who it was? He was the leading rusher for Kansas City.
Yeah, Larry Johnson.
Yeah. And we held him to 30 yards. And we were like, what? We thought we were going to get killed. So moral of the story, those defenses stepped up and played when they needed to, but they never were like nasty and gritty and like tough and top 10. Lou can get this group to a top 10 level. And then that's something Indianapolis has never seen in its 40 years. So we've never seen a defense like even with Mathis Freeney and Bob Sanders, all great players. Go look at our numbers. Bottom of the league. Play the soft cover 2 zone, that type of thing. Like, nah, he's going to have multiple schemes. People are going to be blitzing. There's going to be, shadow stuff going on. Fake this, fake. Like, we have not had that complex of a defensive mindset ever. So that's something to look forward to. So I'm with you with that, Chris. He does get that. And I'll be the first one to say, remember when we talked about DCs and possibilities, like I was a Wink Martindale guy, primarily because why? I knew what he did in Baltimore and I know what he's doing in Michigan right now. And I'm like, look, he's aggressive. He's going to blitz. I need that. And Lou had a down year, couple down years, probably because, they they invest in the defense in Cincinnati. And so he was not the top of my list. So my apologies, Lou.
Yeah.
Do your damn thing, Lou. Okay.
Exactly.
So let's have some fun towards the end. Let's bring up these next 2 clips. Let's start with Alec Pierce, because that one's kind of interesting, and then we'll do DJ Giddens. So Alec Pierce first.
Have you defined your goals for this season yet? Like, you know what you want, yardage, catch-wise?
Look, socks. He's in his socks.
I really haven't. I really don't feel that personally. always team first. You know, I want to win the division. I want to get to the playoffs. I haven't had an opportunity to play in the postseason yet, so that's the biggest goal.
You got to make some bulk in the offseason.
So why is that interesting to me? Remember, we've discussed multiple times that I live in a world where we don't have to have one dominant receiver that's going to get up, get the Chase numbers, get the Jefferson numbers, get the AJ Brown numbers and get upset when they don't. He's last year, 37 catches, 820 some yards and 7 touchdowns. And everybody's talking about him as being the best over the top guy in the league. And he only had 37 catches. So for that, me asking him that question and him saying I'm a team first guy, like he just wants to do his job. And those are the type of receivers that we've had to learn to adapt to, because you go back to the Marvin Harrisons, the Reggie Waynes, the T.Y. Hiltons, and those were our one guys. Those were always our one guys. Reggie Wayne was a 1B until he was the 1A, right, after Marvin retired. So those are the type of things that we have to adjust to, and that was super dope to me to hear him say that, because he's in a contract year. So, like, I don't even know. Like, I don't want to bring any negativity to the situation, but let's say he doesn't have the year he had last year. That could potentially mean he doesn't get re-signed, or it hurts him on the open market or something like that. And he's still not, that's not even a focus. He was like, also, I don't plan to discuss my contract this year. Like, that's going to happen off. Like, this dude is super level-headed and super humble, and he's a football player and a team guy first, and that's rare.
And locked in.
Shout out to Alec Pierce, and I'm sorry I didn't think you were elite 4 years ago when we drafted you. My bad, big dog. I'm doing nothing but apologies tonight.
But you know what? And the thing is, I said my apologies. I think probably
That's the ring finger, by the way.
But you know what?
Hey, but did you guys in that clip? Did you see he was in his socks?
We seen he was in the socks.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all.
Oh my God!
Clearly,
he was so in his socks. Okay, Pat. Yes. Damn.
But and like I said, I said my apologies to Alec Pierce last season, because I too was in that. Okay, like he's not an elite wide receiver, or it's just like this could be this is a make or break year. And to me, it's just like he showcased what you drafted him out of college to be, a deep threat who was going to be able to consistently get you over the top and just win with his speed, and then win with being able to contest. Because I mean, he's a 6'4" receiver that has good enough speed, but also has, I'm gonna say, good hands as well. Pause. But also at the same time, you gotta be able to say, like with a lot of these guys, and I think I talked about it today. There was just a group of people on Twitter. So just talking about the fact that the way that Chris Ballard develops teams, he develops teams where guys may take a while to develop, but at some point or another, you may see that development get there. The only problem is that it never looks like everybody is reaching those heights of development at the same time. So it's almost like you're frequently, like, guys are getting there, and then you're missing it because guys are kind of out of that window to an extent. So it's just like, I think when it comes down to Pierce specifically with a wide receiver room, because honestly, outside of course, Reggie Wayne and Marvin Harrison, we haven't seen a wide receiver room this chock full of talent from the 1 through 4 standpoint since those days when Peyton was there. Because I'm not even going to say that when Andrew Luck was here, because Andrew Luck had T.Y. and then it was a lot of BS in between. So
T.Y. and old Reggie. That's what he had.
Yeah, exactly. So as we see it right now, I think we're going to start seeing that a lot of the development, if it comes to a head, because like I said, it's year 3 for AR. If AR's year 3 looks anything like what we saw from Alec Pierce, where it's just like Alec Pierce was actually able to pop off, probably could have done better if we, had better QB play. But if AR's better, mind you, he's throwing with more touch on his passes. He's able to go, like, the footwork is better. The mechanics are better. And I'm not just saying that because I'm just like, oh, he's about to throw for 6,000 yards. I'm saying that because he looks way more defined in his passes, and he looks more confident. And also, if you see his body when he's throwing, he's literally making sure that even if he scrambles, he's squaring up and he's throwing that thing. I haven't seen him throw an ugly ball off center yet. Now it's still early, but I haven't seen it. And so for me, I think it speaks to the fact that everything that we wanted him to do this offseason to get the work in, to do what he needed to do was done. We just got to be patient with the product on the field because we're not really going to know exactly what it looks like until week 1.
Facts. No, facts. And I think, you know what I mean? Like everything that you said, you know, everything has to come together. There's a lot of individual things that are looking great right now. But, you know, we're still practicing against ourselves. The test will be we go to Baltimore and have, you know, joint practices. Is it next weekend? Yeah, we got next weekend joint practice in Baltimore. And what comes out of that camp, you know, for those couple days, that will be, you know, when we can start to really evaluate. 'Cause like, all right, cool. Like, we went out there and we were able to perform against a whole other squad, an elite squad, if you will, because they went deep into the playoffs. So,
Yeah.
you know, so that's something to think about. But, you know, I'm going to keep it positive. So, and let's do our last clip here. The man of little words, DJ Giddens.
What's your special traits you think you bring to this offense? Your special characteristic, if you will.
You know, I'm quiet. I just be sitting back, listening. I'm gonna work hard. I'm gonna listen. Like, that's really about it, I guess.
Now, he's really a funny guy because it's like you could tell like when guys are kind of uncomfortable, like they called him into the tent and you kind of see his face like, oh shit, this ain't my element. Like I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to do no talking and none of that type of shit. But I'm gonna tell you what I feel his special trait is. His special trait is he does not allow a defense to take a breather when Jonathan Taylor is on the fucking bench. Like there's no more like, oh, okay. You know, they put Zach Moss in the game, who's a decent running back, but it ain't Jonathan Taylor. Oh, they brought Goody in the game. You know, he kind of shifty, but he ain't Jonathan Taylor. Oh, you know, they brought in who's the guy who we had last year? The super slow dude I couldn't stand.
Oh, Sermon.
Oh my God. They brought in Trey Sermon. Matter of fact, don't even do nothing. just let him. Yeah, just let him do whatever.
In the past, if Jonathan was taken out, they knew it was a pass play.
Facts. With DJ Giddens, his special characteristic is you better stay your ass right in the same mindset because
exactly.
Hey, if I see an opening, I'm through it. Again, like he's super, super shifty in the backfield. Like he made a play the other day, like coming out the backfield, made one quick move, off to the races. Nobody touching him again. So it's not like he has the burners. He's not a 4-2 Chris Johnson guy, but if he gets in front of you, he's going to be hard to catch. And he's probably going to make you miss, you know, to even start to play. So his special trait is he's got the same Jonathan Taylor DNA. Honestly, he gives us, you know, like the ability to keep doing the exact same stuff we were doing with our 1A running back in there. And for a bonus, he's a better pass catcher. So now you really better, you know, be watching the flats because I guarantee you, if he catch something out the backfield, he can make a play happen, you know, in my opinion, much swifter than Jonathan Taylor can. That's just not his
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, and that's the reason why you got him. And then like you have, and you have a running back room now where last year you had to be worried about it because Trey Sermon was a power back that identified as a scat back. And to this day, I can't figure like the way he if we had to compare anything to speed, Jonathan Taylor is the fastest Google Fiber internet speed you possibly can have, with Trey Sermon being dial-up. He was a dial-up that identified as a fiber-based 1 gig internet, and it was just hard to watch because it's just like, sir, you have the water boy can catch you right now. Yeah, why are you going side to side?
He's Prodigy online with the CD-ROM. You still need the CD-ROM.
Yes, exactly.
Pop that shit in and hope and pray that you're going to get somewhere today. You know,
you're not showing your age. I'm just telling you right now.
He was the game in the checks box. It was the CD game. And I don't care if I'm aging myself. I don't care because you know what? Fantastic. My skin is lovely. All right. So let's just be honest out here. Like it's refreshing to see now that even with Goodson being as familiar as he is when it comes down to the offense, he's technically like the running back 4. And for me, I think that's going to light a fire underneath him because of the fact that it doesn't matter if you're familiar with this. We went out and got 2 guys in the offseason to make sure that if we get into that situation where a Jonathan Taylor isn't available, you're not going to be de facto number 1. You're still going to have to get past these guys who were acquired either in free agency and the draft during this season. And it's the same way. And once again, this competition is the same way on the defensive side. Like, yeah, we know what Jalen Jones has. We know what Juju Brents has. We know that Juju Brents has battled injury. We know that Jalen Jones has played better than expected for a 7th round pick. But our new DC got his guy, Justin Wally, in the draft. So the thing is,
and that's a prototype type for him. He likes
exactly.
that type of kid. Yep.
So now, like I said, I don't care what Brent or Jones or Rollback believes. You're going to have to worry about that guy who was selected as his guy because Brent, Jones, and Womack were not his guys that he hand chose.
Facts. Big facts. He wanted Mooney. He got Mooney. He got a young kid. He's got his staples going for he got Kenny. He already knows what Kenny can do. And so he's ready to roll. So I'm with you. You're 100% right. But to answer that question before we get out of here, somebody said, do we think Alec is elite? I feel like that's hard to, like, elite is such a difficult term when you're thinking about players because you know who elite is. You know who the all pros are. Like I said, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, those guys, AJ Brown, when he's on the top of his game. Those guys are, the pinnacle of wide receiver. But Alec Pierce, for what he does for our team, he makes this offense potentially elite, in my opinion, because there's so many different levels to it now. And the key level is, and it's always that when you're playing defense, in the secondary, don't let anybody get behind you. So if you got a guy, he's just running a lot of miles for you. I think Alec Pierce ran a lot of miles for us in year 1 and year 2.
Yeah.
But year 3, year 3, he actually started getting some of those touches. Like, so it's not just, he's just a decoy, take him out to play. Like, nah, last year showed we might have started the season thinking he was a decoy, but then all of a sudden he started cooking everybody and scoring touchdowns and, having 50-yard catches and all this other shit. We should guard him. Oh, wait a minute. Damn it. This Tyler Warren kid they just drafted is tearing us apart in the middle. Pick your poison. Are we going to double him? Or are we just going to let Alec Pierce fly right down the middle? I don't know what to do. Oh, Michael Pittman still. Oh, A.D. Mitchell still. Josh Downs will eat you up, coming off the slide. There's a lot of things to guard now. So Alec Pierce, combined with all those other forces I just talked about, makes this offense elite. So, yes, he's elite for this team. That's my thought.
Elite for what he does. Absolutely. Now, going back to what you said, is he going to get that all-pro status and, get the accolades like Randy Moss did and Calvin Johnson? Those guys had different schemes from different coaches that put them in different plays to make you think that they were elite. And they were, because if they wanted to cross the middle, they're going to cross the middle. If they want to do a go route straight down, they will do it. And they'll catch that ball. Alex seems, now this year in camp, I'm seeing him run different routes than just go routes.
Mm-hmm.
Every time we've seen him last year in the games, it just seems like he was on a go route.
Facts.
Go route, go route, go route, go route. But at camp, we're seeing a different story. So is Coach Shane switching him up, going to make him run different routes, throw everybody else off? Now, if he can adjust to that, then his job, is going to become elite because that boy can catch.
Yeah,
the boy can absolutely catch.
I feel like
for me, it comes down to the coaching and the schemes that these coaches run each game.
Because you gotta look at how we put this team together. Like, there's only a few positions that might equate to elite. Somebody off of the defensive line might become elite because of the way we draft so heavy there. The running back, we already know, is elite. The QB, if he was to perform to the level of potential, would be elite. But the receivers probably would never be elite. And I feel like a lot of ways you're looking for the do-all receiver. Like, Chris Ballard has never done that. he's never looked for the do-all receiver. I think that's why he passed up on an A.J. Brown or a DK Metcalf or any of these other guys. You're like, wait, we had a chance to draft these dudes and we didn't. The Terry McLaurins, we drafted none of these guys, but I think he wanted a collective group where it's like, I have options. All of these guys have their own skill sets and they all have their talent, but there's no one that you can key in on. Like, if you want to take Justin Jefferson away, I'm going to live with Jordan Addison beating you. Jordan Addison's a solid receiver, but he ain't Justin Jefferson. You want to take, Chase away, then who else is going to beat you? T. Higgins. Okay, T. Higgins is solid, but you know what? At the same token, like, I'm comfortable living with taking Justin Jefferson away and see if T. Higgins can beat me today. Our guys are none of that. So it's like, shit, one game it might be 7 catches from Josh Downs. One game it might be 3 catches from Alec Pierce, but 110 yards and 2 touchdowns. Michael Pittman might have 11 catches for 98 yards and a touch. Like, you never know. And Tyler Warren is just going to dice everyone apart. Like, it's just going to be disgusting once he gets going and really gets, like, into season and just like, hey, how can we utilize this guy? I'm telling you, Kelsey and all those guys, this next wave of tight ends, Brock Bowers, Tyler Warren, they're going to be pretty damn good, in my opinion.
And go ahead.
Anyways, James Boyd posted a video where Coach Shane has got Warren in the backfield in the fullback position taking handoffs. Did you guys see those videos?
Yeah.
Like, hell yeah. Play it. Get everything out of it that you can. And that's what they seem to really be doing right now.
Yeah. And I want to say, I don't believe that Alec Pierce is elite. But the thing, I think when it comes to this offense, he doesn't have to be. You just have to, and I think we continuously get caught up in trying to have people be elite or try to have them be like, this guy that we just want to elevate. When in reality, I don't care if Alec Pierce is elite. I want him to be able to be consistent and continuously get what we know that he's going to be able to get. Because he was able to get 32 receptions for 800 yards. But what I want to see is I want to see him to be able to consistently be in those games where he'll be able to go ahead and catch. And he'll be able to make sure that, let's just say, he's not phased out. With Tyler Warren now, of course, we talked about the fact that now Warren is going to take away some receptions from some people. For me, in my belief, I believe that might actually end up being Michael Pittman Jr. Because the thing is, now you have legitimate deep threats in Pierce, in AD, but you have guys everywhere that can do things to an extent where Michael Pittman Jr. is I'm going to say he's a tough possession guy, but I think it's very easy to kind of lose him in games, especially if you're trying to run him in a way that he doesn't necessarily benefit from. Whereas you can put Josh Downs out there and I believe he'll be fine by himself. You can put AD up against anybody. And to me personally, I feel like there's very few corners in the league who are going to be able to cover him consistently, especially if he gets a full head of steam going down the sideline. Because we saw that Derek Stingley just got paid the highest cornerback contract in the league, I think, prior to maybe Sauce. But guess what? He burned him twice last year.
Yeah. Cooked them.
And so now I like the fact that we have a group of receivers who can be a threat to anybody. You're not going to be able to phase all of our wide receivers at any given time. You just won't. And I like that because honestly, there's a lot of there's elite wide receivers in this league where, once again, it's just like if you go ahead and guard Justin Jefferson, yeah, it's going to be tough. But also at the same time, we've seen him be phased out by teams like the Eagles, where he ended up with 4 receptions for maybe 20-some, 30-some yards. And once you take him out of the game, if you don't have a good rushing attack, then good luck.
Yeah. For me, I'll close with this. A great passing season looks like Joe Burrow, 4,600 yards or whatever he had, and Jamar Chase, 1,800 yards. Or there's another theory. Go back to what we talked about when I said, look, give me Cam Newton numbers for Anthony Richardson. So let's say our 5 guys, Michael Pittman, AD, Alec Pierce, Josh Downs, Tyler Warren, all as a minimum shoot for 50 receptions each. If they all get 50 receptions each, okay, so that's 250 completions for Anthony, and let's say, they have a minimum of 500 yards. That's 3,500 yards. No, that's bad math. That's 2,500 yards. So he's still below that. So, of course, we can raise those numbers. But what I'm saying is I would rather have an elite group of consistent players that are shooting for the minimum of 50, and anything above that is gravy, and a minimum of 500, and anything above that is gravy as well. And then all of it collectively equals like, damn, Anthony threw for, you name it, 3,600 yards. He had, X amount of completions and X amount of touchdowns, but everybody contributed. Remember that one year it was like Michael Pittman, and then the next highest guy was like 20 receptions or some shit like that. It was nasty work. So
it was Michael Pittman Jr., JT, and then Zach Pascal.
Yeah, it was it didn't even make sense. So all I'm just saying is if those are the minimum targets, 50 and 500, and then you just raise your ceiling beyond that, and everybody in the room is competing for yards each game and competing to get open and get completions each game, that's great. But we don't necessarily have to have an 1,800-yard guy. We don't need a 1,400-yard guy. We don't need a 1,500-yard guy. We don't need a 1,200-yard guy. That sounds great. What we have to do as fans is relinquish some of that. We want to be in the conversation. We want to be in the conversation and say, hey, we got the best quarterback in the league. Hey, we got the best running back in the league. Hey, we have the best receiver in the league, because we've done that before. We've had multiple times when we can say Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning, best QB. You can say Edgerrin James, Jonathan Taylor, best running backs. You can say, T.Y., Reggie, Marvin, all the best, blah, 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 blah. Maybe you could even say Dallas Clark has some times. You'd be like, hey, he's a top 5, tight end, whatever. When we don't have those conversations, we feel like our whole team is shit. And we need to relinquish that. Those years are behind us. Great memories. Those teams will always live in their own glory. But we got to look at what the future holds for this next wave of Colts. And it might not be we got superstars who are the elite in their positions at every position. And we got to be okay with that.
I said it on this program before. I'll say it again. Ballard brings balance.
I've never heard you say it. But that's
right, so
you haven't.
We need to get out of here because we're well over an hour. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna while Clyde gets his collective shit together. Yes. So just really quickly, please bring up the handles. Well, actually, I don't know. I think Sammy might be off. Yeah. So okay. So yes, you can find me at CJ Colts fan. You can find Clyde at Colts Clyde or wherever he's cracking the heck up. Pat, you can say your own because it's awful.
Well, I say this: if Clyde wouldn't be on vacation all the damn time, he'd hear me say it because I have definitely said it.
Ballard brings balance is a T-shirt. I want it.
So here,
anyways, and then you can find me at Big P Colts.
All right, yes, you can find us all on Twitter, X, whatever you subscribe to, and then also, can you bring up the Twitter? Thank you. At SigPod Colts is where you can find the podcast page. Also, you can find us on 0103.com. On Wednesdays, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, also on Mix 105. And Pat finally did me a solid with actually giving me the name of our people overseas. So actually, you can also listen to us on VIP Lounge Extra. That's our group out of Cardiff, Wales. They are the ones that they are the ones who will be making sure that they are showing I'm going to say streaming our podcast. And then also, can you bring up the Visit Indy?
Damn, he's running through this
Thank
shit.
you for that. Yes. Yeah, I have to because you long-winded fogies decided that you wanted to go over time. So you can go to Visit Indy.
I was very aware.
I'm not done. You can go scan the QR code and make sure that you go to visitindy.com. You can see everything that's happening in Indianapolis, all the attractions and all that good stuff. And yes, you can go ahead and do that. I was going to ask if anybody else has anything to say, but we're
hold on. Okay, wait.
No,
Sammy,
absolutely not. No, you said enough.
Wait.
You said enough.
This is for Sammy. This is for Sammy. Hey, Sammy, before you take us home, Ballard brings balance. Get us out of here.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast and Bill Show on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.